a young Dev Marta and a great historical match between those two teams. And now we bring it back to the forefront, which is, of course, the APAC playoffs. Invictus versus Fnatic to do battle once again. Gentlemen, Raven, Manic, thank you for joining me here on the desk. You're both looking absolutely lovely, can I just say. But I'll go to you first, Raven, and maybe we'll touch on a little bit as to how we got here. Obviously, QC, a very interesting match, and their loss to Fnatic, and for Fav, couldn't quite keep up with Invictus.
Definitely my heart breaks a little bit for QC hearing the fashion that they lost in, going 5-1 on both maps and then just getting absolutely swept in both second halves is just a very tilting way to lose. But look, great fortitude from Fnatic to drive forward, and Invictus, well, they just definitely proved far too strong for Fav. They really didn't have any answers, and it has brought us a beautiful storyline yet again for APAC playoffs.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I was only kind of keeping half an eye on that Fnatic match, I can't really speak to it too much, but obviously Fnatic shining through once more. Fav, like Raven said, I mean, I just think that Invictus were a step above. I think that they were on a different level, a different pedigree, if you will. And now coming into this one, I mean, I really don't know what to expect, honestly. IG might be peaking in form.
I don't know what to expect from you anymore, Rob. That's what I'll say. Let's move forward, though. Of course, I'm looking at the teams. Invictus versus Fnatic. We've been here before. We know the teams. We'll go to IG first, Raven. This is a team that, as we've already touched on throughout the playoffs, was in a position where they could have finished dead last in APAC South. They won their game against Elevate. They then made it to the top 4. They've made it to the playoffs. They've already beaten Fnatic in the upper bracket. They haven't had to go the very long way. They ended up losing, of course, to Elevate, but that was 7-5. That's not too bad. They brushed aside Fav. So far, things are going pretty well for them.
Yeah, the playoffs campaign has actually been pretty decent, and you're right, we were looking at a situation where Invictus could have been dead last coming out of Stage 2. If Elevate had taken those 3 points in the final play day, they wouldn't be here, and they would have been starting to think about things like relegation. So pretty exciting to see them actually making a decent run at the playoffs and continuing fine form from the entire stage is, of course, Speakeasy. Hard not to talk about him. He is just so consistently shown up. It's actually insane.
I would have to say that he's probably one of the scariest players in APAC. In all of APAC, Speakeasy has consistently just been an absolute devil. He is a madman. Now, you want to talk about this team as a whole. Honestly, like I really can't fault any single player here throughout the playoffs. They have been phenomenal. You look to maybe honestly, I think Joe has been the quietest out of the entire roster, and that's saying something because even he has had moments of absolute brilliance. I am really kind of concerned coming into this for Fnatic because, again, like I kind of alluded to before, IG are really starting to get back on their feet. They're really starting to peak in their form. And this may just be the first stepping stone in that dominance that we saw back in 2020.
We're going to have a look at the lineup, of course, for Fnatic. And you believe it, it's the first time we're actually going to have them on the mainstream. They've been, unfortunately, off the main channel for whatever reasons. They, of course, played Invictus in that upper bracket round 1. That was a 7-3 loss. They dropped down into the first round of the lower bracket. They had to defeat Mercenaries, and they did that, honestly, pretty comfortably, 7-2, 7-3. And obviously off stream, they then defeated Q Confirm 7-5, 7-5. We've already spoken about that. But Raven, of course, this is a team that Invictus cannot take lightly.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly considering the past between the two rosters, as we were just learning a lot more about, there's a deep history there, but Fnatic had traditionally had the upper hand for until that match that we just watched, or that series, which of course qualified Aerowolf to Tokoname. But yeah, you definitely don't want to count out Fnatic. They've had a really good stage in APAC North. It's certainly been one of their better stages since that transition. And I think it's actually quite scary. I'm even looking at some of these stats here. Mag had the most plants for the entire APAC North League. Really says a lot about the way that their attacks come together to still open so many plant opportunities.
And for someone who, had been planning so much, he had a phenomenal stage going plus 16 in the KD department as well. So like that in itself, plus 11, I should say, that in itself is pretty crazy. But one thing I want to highlight as well, Mentalist coming back from a sub position to perform to the standard, to the level that he has in stage 2, as Alfama unfortunately couldn't really be joining the roster due to visa issues, is absolutely insane. I mean, we're seeing a Fnatic that aren't even at full strength kind of take their own strides in Stage 2 when we've had questions about the roster for so long. And sure, granted, you could probably talk about the fact that they're still stuck in Australia, but so are these other teams that we have from Australia, you know, Knights, Order, Chiefs, and I think Stage 2 has shone for Fnatic. So this is honestly one of the matches where we look back to, again, the historical match we just saw before against the old era Wolf, now IG, and it's kind of like it really is going to go either way. Both of these teams are coming into good form.
Yeah, fantastic analysis. Thank you very much. Tier
no
1
worries.
from you, Manic. I'll tell you
Tier
what,
3.
You improve, and you're really just shining on through here. Let's go to the map vetoes, though, of course. Best of 3. Means we are going to be seeing 2 maps picked out, along with the bands. Consulate, Clubhouse will be our 2, and then Villa, the deciding matchup. Raven, I'll go to you first on this one to give Manic some time to think about what he's going to say. But Raven, how do you think this has played out?
Look, actually, looking at this, I feel like this has played pretty well for Fnatic. I mean, Consulate is definitely a good map for Invictus Gaming. We saw that earlier, even though that was Fab's map pick. But it's also a pretty decent map for Fnatic, as is Clubhouse, and historically has been. Recent history, maybe a little bit sketchier for Fnatic and Clubhouse, but either way, I could actually see them sneaking this 2-0. I still personally think that Invictus Gaming will probably come out on top in a decider, probably a 2-1, but I do see a world that I think is maybe less likely to happen, but Fnatic could really surprise them here, and I think if anything, this veto just makes this matchup very exciting.
Can I have some more time to think about my point? I'm just messing with you.
Seconds.
I'm just messing with you. Look, I'm so curious as to the fact that we are seeing Consulate. Obviously, like you've said, IG, sure, they're looking good on it, but it's also statistically Fnatic's best map. That is absolutely wild that we're headed there. And then, I'm not going to lie, Fnatic picking Clubhouse. I mean, I'm looking at the stats from Dev's spreadsheet here, so if I'm wrong, Dev, this is on you, and it's definitely not on me. They haven't won a single game. It's 0-4 on Club. I mean, I'm not like missing anything there. So this means that Fnatic have had this in the back pocket. It looks like they've banned it out a bunch of times. They have had this waiting in the rafters for so long. That is going to be, as Xenox would say, tantalizing, as I would say for the people up in the peanut gallery. But I will also add, Villa being the final map, that is like neutral territory for both of these teams. All 3 of these maps are spicy as all hell.
Well, prediction time quickly before we throw it over to the other 2 guys. Raven, how are you thinking this one's going to play out?
Look, my heart is still feeling like this is Invictus 2-1. I actually really think, just given their recent peak, they can do it, but there's a lot of my head saying that Fnatic could easily come out on top of this too. I'm going to stick with Invictus, but I wouldn't be surprised if it sways.
Look, I love my Australian folk, but I do love my APAC South boys a bit more, so I'm going for Invictus here. I'm going for a clean 2-0, 7-0, 7-0. Don't worry about it.
Oh, jeez.
I think that's a little bit ambitious, but I'm probably going to go for Invictus 2-1 overall. That's going to be us done, though. Let's get into this best of 3. The winner moves on to the lower bracket final, and we'll throw it over to your 2 wonderful casters. It is the wonderful Dev and the not-so-wonderful Guz.
Thanks, Xenox. Fantastic hosting from you. And yeah, I'm really keen to get into this game. It is a historic match. These 2 teams have been facing off at APAC playoffs and APAC Pro League finals for years, guys. And it's been a long time since they actually faced each other. Of course, the stakes could not be higher right now for a spot at Mexico.
What a rivalry these 2 have. It has been so long since we've had them fight it out at an APAC playoffs. And wow, I just cannot wait to kick this one off. Consulate, of course, is the map. It's Invictus's pick. Invictus themselves, fantastic form heading into this map, and no doubt they'll be wanting to claim it.
That's it. Fnatic have not been slumps. They've certainly been on the up and up as of late, making their presence known within APAC North and the wider APAC playoffs as well. Fnatic, the only team in Stage 2 that made it to playoffs that also made it to playoffs in Stage 1. Invictus rocketing through, scraping into these playoffs on their final play day. And of course, we are playing here in the second last game of the lower bracket. Whoever wins here will have a chance to go to Mexico. They'll just have to defeat the loser of Elevate and Damwon. But let's chew on these bans for a minute. It's already looking pretty spicy.
Yeah, Twitch Nomad taken off the board. On the attack, that means that all hard breaches, Thatcher and Flores also have made it through. Nomad Not too unexpected here on console, but Twitch obviously a little bit of an unusual one. That said, of course, her drones are very potent. They can take down default cameras to cover pushes, clear utility, etc. On the other side with the defense, Valk expected once again here on console. Those black eye cameras very, very potent. And with the Wamai taken off the board as well, that will mean that the defense will have to lean heavily into the Jaeger and maybe also the Aruni as well.
Invictus just insta-ban that Wamai. They really don't like playing with her in the, him in the server. And for Fnatic, their bans are interesting again. Like Nomad and Valkyrie, both very common bans. But what that kind of results us in is a situation where you can run out without worrying about those air jabs, jump out of windows, etc., as people love to do on Consulate. But you don't have those Valk cams to give you info to enable that. And you know, we're probably going to see attacks really rely on hard watching these angles, perhaps claymores, maybe even a bit of gridlock. I've noticed Invictus have played it a bunch. Hysterix, I think, has been the main proponent of that. But for now, as Invictus start on their defense, they've actually gone for Archives and Tellers. Not a bomb site we've seen from them a whole lot, even though they did play it earlier today in their match against Fab Gaming.
Already some mind games being played here in the reveal phase and the 6-pick phase. We saw Tex jump off the Amaru onto the Thatcher and Speakeasy off the Clash over towards Pulse, trying to cover the fact that Invictus are in fact defending split first. Now this is an objective that Invictus do enjoy playing, and in fact a lot of high-level teams will attempt, but to bring it out first, very much a confident play here from Invictus. Often we'll see teams go for more default objectives, which is basically any of the other three outside of split. We very often see split actually attempted first. So this will be a good test of which team, or are both teams, ready for this matchup. Of course, they're both coming off the back of a best of 3. Now, neither of which went the distance. They were both 2 mappers, but still, this is, of course, a test of endurance.
Yeah, that it is. Both of these teams have already been giving it their all through the playoffs, day 1 and day 2 so far. Fnatic on the ingress looking to take some control of down in Garage. Not heavy presence from Invictus to meet them as of yet. Just going to give them that map control. Fnatic does slowly whittle away. Drones coming through. Heavy, heavy presence from Invictus, though, at the top floor on the east side, mounting around admin. Several players here, including that mirror window, which has now been popped so that they can take a reverse angle through it.
Fnatic looking to go from the west side across, already gained control of Garage in through Cafeteria and Security, so they may well try and mount for a full downstairs take as opposed to contesting that control above. Risky here for Fnatic, but can they pull it off?
Very, very risky indeed, and they are punished. Speakeasy finally traded out, but it may be too little too late. That said, Mentalist does find another pick on the site. Caught in the crossfire, he will not survive. Invictus, a strong opening round, punishing that aggressive take from Fnatic.
Both teams looking to outbrain one another. Invictus, again, went to split to try and get a cheeky early round on the board. Fnatic tried to contest that by taking it head-on with the horizontal take. Now, of course, it didn't work out. Invictus were prepared and able to mow them down as they were filtered in towards the site. In doing so, they claim a cheeky first round, but don't anticipate rounds to come that easily from here on out.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, right, where it comes down to partly Fnatic's decision to go for that Lockers Rush and partly Invictus's response and readiness to that. But you mentioned the Clash previously. We do have her 6-picked onto this time around. I think that Invictus once again playing a little bit of a game in that reveal phase, showing that they had, I believe it was the Echo, instead 6-picking onto the Clash. Perhaps hinting that this might be a Garage defense, when of course we see that it is in fact a CEO defense. And look at that, actually, completely reinforcing the cubby in CEO. I guess this is a bit more of a modern interpretation of this bomb site. It used to be all about holding yellow stairs. You make sure you have those line of sight into the bomb site, so when people do rappel in, you can kill them from the yellow stairs. But no, it's kind of the opposite now. You're probably going to be forfeiting yellow stairs to the attackers who don't really want those angles available.
Yeah, back in the good old days, you could play with Jaeger, and then with the introduction of Rumai, him as well, and there was a huge ability to deny projectiles, and we would often see attackers standing outside throwing 9 flashbangs in and a couple of nades to try and actually just clear that location. Of course, Rumai is banned, and Jaeger has now been nerfed for quite some time. Those ADS devices not quite as good as catching so many projectiles, and that does mean that yellow not really on the cards. Oh, Hysterics though. He's on point. That's Tellers to find that first pick. The hard breacher off the board. One of the hard breachers here for Fnatic as Hysterics narrowly misses the one tap.
I'm really liking this aggression from Invictus. They are bringing everything they've got to Fnatic and not eager to sit back and wait. They want to take the fight to them. Don't let Fnatic get comfortable. I think that's the play here. A good read from Invictus, and they do get an early man advantage. How many players do we see at Windows ready to jump out? All these spawn peaks as well. Like, this is insatiable.
As we often see, Nomad banned. Mag, though, on the rappel, ready and waiting, anticipating a potential run out here from Invictus, but there's no real pressure for the defenders to go for anything too crazy at the moment. Invictus have the man advantage, and they don't really want to be throwing that away cheaply. Sure, it would be great to get a pick, maybe even a trade out there onto Mag. It could be worth it, but I think it's probably wise off here for Invictus to just hunker down and play off this intel, especially that Hysterics is gathering basically for free down below with the cardiac sensor. It's going to be tricky for Fnatic to counter this.
Ooh, here's a run out, and that's going to be a freebie on the con repel. Mag goes down. That's the second hard breacher. More importantly, that diffuser down on the ground. The idea here for Fnatic was to collapse upon Lunar Metal in meeting, but it just ain't working, not one bit. 5v2 now for the defense, and IG have a lot of information as well. Finally, Styx does find the first pick for Fnatic. Hysteric's going to keep contesting here. Bit of a dangerous game to be playing here. The Styx starts to peter on away. Looks like Fnatic have a lot of work to do.
Invictus knowing exactly where these two attackers are coming from. One on the meeting balcony and the other inside of Visa. And Luna is in a very powerful position, able to deny both those entries as the rest of the team holds the push down long desk. Fnatic, Lusty and Styx need to try and work together here to find something, but it's a very, very tall order.
See a repel for Lusty, but IG in safe positions. Low HP for Styx, but he had the read for a second until he did flick away and Hysterics was enabled. His third kill. Lusty's just going to bait on the roof now, unfortunately. So that's it for Fnatic. That's their hope in this round out the window, just like all of those Invictus players were as they go for the runouts. Really, really nice round from Invictus and a strong, decisive early lead.
That round a little bit closer than the first over towards Split. Upstairs on that occasion, Invictus just with a hint of aggression. We did see some early picks go their way and they played off it really, really nicely. They had great intel on where the remaining attackers were, and they were able to play very passively and allow them to burn time. I mean, Fnatic didn't even have an opportunity to get the diffuser to be any chance to get back in towards that round. So the odds were always against the attack. And Invictus are doing a really good job on their map pick so far.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Invictus are really not even breaking a sweat. Fnatic are being outplayed at the moment. This aggression from Invictus is giving Fnatic a lot to think about. And really, there are just so many moments when Invictus is just making a play and Fnatic is struggling to receive it and deal with it. Now we finally go down to what is arguably the best bomb site for the defense on this map, which is Garage Cafeteria. Finally, Mag is probably going to be able to use his exothermic charges. He's been dying without using them so far. As we finally have an application, pick Thermite, because you don't know whether it's going to be Garage Cafeteria or one of the other bomb sites, and really you only need him for basement, but you kind of have to bring him if it's upstairs anyway, if the basement isn't locked. One of the things I did want to touch on, though, is if you were here watching that historical match before this game started, it was Fnatic versus Airwolf, which is, of course, the name that a lot of these Invictus players formerly went by. And Mentalist was actually playing for Airwolf at that time. So it was after that season, Season 10 of Pro League, that Mentalist then went on over to Fnatic, and it was actually their first international import as well.
Yeah, one of the highlights of that event was the post-match, in fact. The emotion from Mentalist when he finally took down Fnatic was beautiful to watch, and to now see him on this Fnatic roster, quite the story. And of course, Mentalist himself stepping in for Alfama at the moment, who unfortunately is unable to play for the roster, and that is just, I guess, another hurdle that Fnatic have had to try and overcome. It's been a pretty rough last 18 months for this team, looking to try and regain the form that we know them for. They're a famous name in APAC for a reason, and they're looking to reach those heights once again. And of course, winning this matchup, they'd be one step closer to Mexico. It's a big step at that though, and as you mentioned, basement, one of the trickier objectives to attack. We have seen teams so far this afternoon struggle a little bit here. In fact, it was Fav in particular who found it really tough to mount attacks. What can Fnatic do?
Step 1 is roam clear, and step 2 is to get this vert. Thing is, that roam clear is not complete, not fully. Now, I don't know whether that's intentional from Fnatic, whether they perhaps knew that there was a possibility for another roamer to be upstairs, because Hysterix was just prone on a desk in admin. And surely Fnatic don't just take for granted that the whole map is clear. What you kind of have to do here is always just be watching those flanks actively and wary that you may be getting flanked. That's exactly what Fnatic are doing. You can see Stiggs just pre-aiming lobby there, and now Mentalist is going for the chase, actually. His former teammate Hysterix in admin at the moment, who will get the better of the other.
3 players on Fnatic on drones at the moment, so not sure if Hysterix has been hunted down. Do they know he's in this position? Mentalist does, finds that pick. It's a huge run for Fnatic. They have 45 seconds left now and vert control. An unfortunate Nitro Cell from Jordan will get caught in the roof above, so that won't find its mark. And look at all the groundwork that Fnatic have done. They're in a good position to think about this execute.
Really aggressive peek from Joe, however, and that does take down Mag. That's the smokes gone from Fnatic's lineup, but numbers advantage in their favor. Breach open, really, with 20 seconds left. Fnatic have just about everything they would want as they go for this execute. Jordan could deny, but Tex flicks up just in time. It's on Joe now in the 1 versus 4. No util to speak of. He's got to do it with the Alder, and Lusty shuts him down. Fnatic, a very nice attack.
Clean and decisive there from Fnatic. A good early pick there on the roam, onto the Vigil from Mentalist, and then a really good setup there on the plant. Now, of course, that player side white there for Invictus. I believe that was Jordan. Yeah, trying to hit that swing. Of course, if he hit that double kill there, could have been a very, very different story, but Fnatic do a good job in shutting him down. It was a 4v1, and from that position, again, particularly on basement, very, very difficult to allow that round to slip away. So good response from Fnatic, and importantly, they don't allow Invictus to lock in 3 sites in a row.
It's funny, you would usually think Garage Cafeteria is the best for the defense. I said it previously, but they're not the case so far for Invictus. And partly, I think it comes down to Fnatic just had a really good attack. I think that is the main distinct factor. If you compare round 3 to the previous 2, it's just that Fnatic played really well. I think that we were looking for a lot more from them in their first 2 attacks. By round 3, it just looked like Garage is something that they've spent a lot more time practicing. Really good roam clear onto Hysterix. Not kind of over-hunting him, but just watching for his aggression. And Mentalist got the better of him. Now, of course, we go to lobby. This is actually the 4th bomb site we're seeing from IG as they go around the world. And look, I respect that. Not going back to tellers. Just keep your opponents guessing. If you have depth in your bomb site choice on this map, then why not use it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Keep Fnatic on their toes. Force them to be the ones constantly needing to adjust. Jordan over towards yellow stairs. Considers a spawn peak. Tex did spawn out on that location, but will play more any potential jump out. Fnatic probably looking to do a top-down take. I'll drone in. Scout ahead. Stronghold above here from Invictus. No doubt going to be very, very difficult to deal with.
Couple operator changes here from Fnatic. The main ones that Mag's gone for the ace, a little bit more versatile than the third one, but not as ideal on that Garage. Fortunately for him, that won't matter. The other one, and the more important one here, is Mentalist on the Jackal. Now, could help with hunting these roamers, as he does, I believe, scan a footprint. No, doesn't quite scan a footprint there. Oh, and there's the first pick. Really nice work from Fnatic to put that pressure onto Meeting and take down Joe.
Now, if I saw that correctly, Mentalist sneaking up spiral stairs, trying to take top floor control. No, he's outside, so... I was going to say it would have been pretty wild if he was doing what I thought he may have been. He is instead outside bench windows. Tex alongside. Of course, very difficult at the moment in the Consulate meta to gain map control, but with that smoke, Fnatic can start to pop off.
Ooh, nice nade, and here comes the execute. Baited out now, Mentalist gets off, repositions slightly. These gas babes not fully covering. The Yokai does come around, and that should deny for just a moment longer. In the midst of that, IG get aggressive. Speakeasy knows he has that diffuser down, and it's all on Mag. Really well played. Great usage of the Yokai Jones. And Invictus spring into action now. It's all on Fnatic's captain to look for his first kill. And hopefully do a little bit more than that in this 1v3. Hoping to find something. Oh no, as if there's an ADS there as well. Can take down that shield eventually, but a lot of time to work with. And he's just not going to get it done. Jordan swings around with the pistol at the end of it. I don't know how that impact grenade... The impact grenade somehow destroyed the Selma without destroying the shield. That is just silly, really. But to tie a bow in it, nice round from Invictus.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one there to close things out. Fnatic trying to go for an opportunistic play, throwing out those smoke grenades to allow the likes of Tex and Mentalist to jump in through benches, trying to get that plant down over towards Circle Desk, but the groundwork hadn't really been done there. No one covering that anti-chamber rotation. The Yokai drones as well still posted up. Made that very, very tricky for Fnatic, and has been a very, very solid defense here from Invictus. I think they've done a great job here so far. There's a reason they headed to Consulate. We knew they had good form. They also played really well before against Fav, and it seems like that momentum really is continuing on.
And that is the other part of this, right? Is the fact that Invictus did pick Consulate here. So I guess that is one factor that you can perhaps hold dear to you if you're a Fnatic fan. You're seeing them down. Yes, they're on the attack. And yes, they are going on their opponent's map pick. Should we get to Clubhouse, perhaps we'll have a slightly different story, but I'm not sure I'm convinced of that. We've seen Invictus can play Clubhouse as well. They had a very convincing win over Fav Gaming right there.
10 seconds to
and so the fact that Invictus, really all they have to do against Fnatic is exactly what they did against Fav in terms of the map picks. It does give you some confidence for them.
Yeah. Both performances were quite dominant by Invictus, so being able to play them back-to-back here against Fnatic and potentially win the series is got to be a very, very nice feeling. But of course, that second map for Fnatic, we really don't know what to expect from them. They haven't got the best form, they haven't played it a whole lot either, so maybe they've got something hidden, something ready to go to take down their opponents. But at the moment, of course, all focus here over towards Consulate. The Lion brought here by Tex might indicate that Fnatic will prepare for an execute and try and lock out this defense as much as possible. But with that clash on the board from Luna, as we saw last time, can pose issues.
The console meeting was a pretty cut and dried situation for Invictus last time around, on the back of a lot of aggression, early external peaks. Not so this time. Invictus are actually playing quite passively, playing into their advantages. They know that Fnatic have to make the first step. They also have Hysterics downstairs on the pulse as usual, gathering info and also ready to make a play. Oh. But Mentalist actually creeps up on him, and Speakeasy gets the better of him. Wow, I have no idea whether Hysterics realized he was being hunted or whether Speakeasy knew that there was a player in lobby, but either way, excellent outcome for IG.
Yeah, really, really well played there from Invictus. Surely Mentalist's footsteps were heard and the call went out to Speakeasy. That would probably be my bet, but yeah, either way, really, really well played. Now, Invictus trying to hold yellow stairs here. We thought that this might not be the case, probably not really the play. Will the nade land? It does from Stigs. That's why yellow is so hard to hold. The swing in there from Lusty, shut down by Joe, who doubles down over towards that yellow position. Tex and Mag in 2v4.
And a gas to cover it up as well. Wow, this is really great from Invictus. What ground Stigs might have got from that nade was taken back with force by Joe. Now the Clash trapped in the closet, but does that really matter? I mean, Fnatic have got to do something, and they can't save through a rappel in straight onto that Clash. Difficult position for Mac and Tex.
I don't think there's really much Fnatic can do in this position. They don't have the best utility to deal with this, and then ultimately, as the time whittles down, Mag is going to be forced to swing in, and that surely will be a death trap. I doubt he'll be able to get in this objective.
20 seconds. I mean, Tex has got to be the one to make a play here. Mag can't do anything. So what can Tex do? Go for some cheeky floor bangs? I mean, you know, give it your all. Walk through the barbed wire up white stairs. I mean, Mag's going to rappel in, but he's just going to die. And Tex can walk up yellow stairs. He will meet the same fate. A strong round from Invictus, in particular. Joe playing in private bathroom with that MP5K put Fnatic down.
Yeah, incredible play there from Joe. The MP5 with the 1.5 scope can be pretty gnarly. Quite a strong weapon, particularly at that medium range, and did a fantastic job tracing that player on the rappel and then quickly adjusting to Stiggs on yellow stairs. Had he have not found those two, Fnatic probably would have been in a better position to facilitate that rappel in from Mag and being able to get that plant down. So a huge, huge play there inside of Private, and Invictus with the 4-1 lead for the final round of the half.
It could well be a 5-1-2, guys. Now, the only attack round Fnatic won was their garage cafeteria attack. Invictus have no need to go there, and they won't. Instead, returning to Teller's Archives. This was the first round of the map, and a fairly decisive win for Invictus on the back of that Lockers rush from Fnatic. Really didn't net a lot of success. In particular, the mirror window that Joe has just placed in Archives has a really good line of sight onto that double door at Lockers, thanks to these holes that he's made in the walls just next to it. Really great observing there. I believe we've got Mandy on at the moment. Thank you, Mandy. Always lovely stuff from you. And yeah, look, guys, I don't know about you, but I am starting to feel like a 5-1 half is creeping up on us.
Yeah, it could be very, very possible, and I am keen to see how Fnatic approach this site. Last time it was the garage sweep. It was a bit of a cheese strat, pocket strat, however you want to frame it, for Fnatic on the attack. This time though, they spawn over towards the east, and that's a pretty strong indication that we'll either see them send it in through Visa. I doubt that. Instead, probably head up above and take admin down below. Now again, with that mirror on the board, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be free real estate necessarily, but it should have a higher strike rate than their previous push.
Or is that actually reinforced this time, Garage? No, it was soft on the last defense. No, it was just, all right, fair enough. Use an exothermic on. What else are you going to use it on, eh?
Yeah, probably not many other options for Mag in this round. Again, that Thermite really only useful here on Consulate for that garage defense.
Ooh, aggressive C4 Speakeasy. He very rarely misses, but unfortunately, that was most certainly not ideal. Looks like he wasn't actually able to pick it up as well. So, wasted C4. A very valuable asset to keep on you during this bomb site, but in fact, there are none left on the Invictus side.
Starting to feel a bit like that historical matchup. Capitao in the server, an operator that doesn't get too much love in the current meta, but it was only a couple of years ago where he was a very popular pick. Tex, of course, lit up already in this round, but still has 2 smoke bolts that could be used later in this round. We expect those to be useful for an execute. Halfway into the round, though, and Fnatic are slowly gaining ground up above. Admin forfeited here by Invictus. You can see they've fallen back towards side, or in fact, over towards long. Lusty caught off guard there, just as I was.
Oh my
gets
God!
swung on and gets taken down. The double swing there from Invictus nets a kill.
Double swing, more like triple swing. There were so many people on Lusty's screen, and I'm sure that that results in a panicked call out. Tex has been able to refrag. Fortunately, coming around that corner on the window does leave us even again. Fnatic hoping to punish some of these players, but Mag, he has smoked off an angle to jump in, but it looks like Invictus have scattered away, retreated, and given up this ground.
Diffuser outside the main door. Mag needs to go collect that. Or someone from Fnatic needs to collect it, unless they're going to back themselves to frag out this round, but with Joe still off site, a lack of intel elsewhere, that's going to be tough. But Mag drops Hysterics, traded by Jordan. That's on to Mentalist, leaves it in the 3-on-3.
Oh, here it is. This is big from Joe. Comes around the corner, takes down Mag. Now in the 2-on-2, it's so difficult for Fnatic to push forward. That said, Tex is stepping up, and he's found another kill. Speakeasy has to clutch, and he's been so good lately. No C4. Speakeasy versus Tex with 7 seconds on the clock. Tex is gonna go for the kill, but Speakeasy's waiting perfectly. A 5-1 half is locked in for Invictus Gaming International.
No kit, no win for Fnatic. Tex had to go for something there, but Speakeasy, he is one of, if not the best clutcher. Maybe not even in APAC South, but in APAC as a whole. And who knows if we get to see Invictus at an international event once again, maybe even the world. He does not lose those, and Tex is a fantastic player. So to win that 1v1, win the round, huge for Invictus. A 5-1 lead. Very difficult to see Fnatic coming back from that.
Yeah, honestly, it's very, very difficult for Fnatic from here on out. They have come back from 2 5-1s today, I will say. Can confirm, was certainly can attest to that. But of course, that was Fnatic's defenses that they struggled on, and then they switched to their attacks, and then they won 6 in a row. Also, very different beast on Chalet and Coastline. I think those are maps where you're probably more likely to see one-sided scorelines, and it's more feasible to see these significant comebacks. But here for Fnatic, they are going to have to defend 3 different bomb sites successfully, and at least 2 of those bomb sites twice. So this is going to be incredibly difficult, and I really just, I think Invictus have the momentum right now.
Yeah, fair to say. Probably anticipated heading into this matchup that Invictus would win their map pick, but if it is in a dominant fashion, then that is of course scary for Fnatic and their fans heading into unknown territory for the next 2 maps. We're not too sure if Fnatic will be much stronger there, but of course happy to be proven wrong. We've seen time and time again these teams have really close best of 3, so expect it to still go the distance. Honing in there here on round 7. It's a roam Fnatic to kick things off. Lusty on the Vigil activates the E1D. Not the E1D, that's Lion. Activates the cloak rather.
ER7, I think? ERC7?
Yeah, something like that. It's got an E in it. Bit of a brain fade from me and a brain fade from Lusty. Wow, yeah. Luna there on the boost, watching the run out. What an angle to find that pick.
Yeah, and a bit of a bra moment there. Pretty significant pick, a pretty significant loss there for Fnatic, losing not only the player in Lusty, but that means those Vigil signals no longer going to be disrupting Invictus's drones. They're going to have a lot more conviction in taking this map control. Fnatic are relying on some Hail Marys here with these aggressive peaks. For example, this aggression on Yellow Stairs, with that aggressive peak from Tex as well in lobby. I'm assuming Tex is starting to back away. No, he's actually still pretty confident here that he wants to take some fights. Should Fnatic get punished for this, it's just going to spiral.
Mag inside of Public. That mirror gets tapped and he's forced to drop. The angle from Yellow Stairs there was potent, but not potent enough here for Invictus. They don't find that kill just yet, but Mag on a slither of HP. It's difficult to see him surviving the rest of this round. With a minute to go, silence across the map. We can hear the floor being opened up. Of course, that's Jordan up above with the sledgehammer. Invictus surely preparing for a front white plan or something similar to that effect over towards the garage breach. Mentalist could play a huge role by denying the plan, finding a pick, but he doesn't achieve either. And with 35 seconds left, Invictus find themselves in a strong position.
Yeah, the only thing going for Fnatic right now is the fact that Invictus are late. They've only just opened this main wall breach. This execute will be desperate. Invictus could flood the site. They have the numbers. 5 versus 3, 20 seconds on the clock. Stigs does have 2 gas babes left to go. Invictus will have to make this execute count. Mag's going to make a desperate play upside white. Invictus still haven't answered. Lunametal's got to get that diffuser planted. And Tex can open things up. A team kill! Oh no! What is this from Invictus? And Fnatic somehow win just thanks to Mag prone and hidden at side white.
It's a close round there. Fnatic just holding on. Invictus were in prime position to take it, but just unable to close it out in the dying seconds. A really good performance there from Tex, particularly inside of security. A strong entry denial from him, and Mag with the presence of mind to just drop to the deck over towards side white. And again, only on a slither of HP, not taking the risk of a gunfight, instead just staying alive. And that was enough in the end for Fnatic.
Yeah, very, very close though. I feel like there were so many things that went right there for Fnatic during that execute, and if Invictus had just been a little bit tidier, then that would have been quite a decisive Invictus round. You know, 2-man lead pre-execute. When the execute came down as well, they had a lot of util. It was just the timer and a couple of weird question marks, you know, that made team kill, for example. Fnatic are going to have to replicate that success though on other bomb sites. Now, a good start, you know, getting 1 win under your belt, starting this track, and I guess the pattern does continue as well, Guz. If Fnatic does not lose when they're on a 1-5 deficit, but you know, they're going to have to do a lot more work here. This is going to be a lot more challenging than the Q-confirm game.
It would be quite remarkable if once again at the end of this matchup we are celebrating a Fnatic victory. It would be the 3rd time in a row today that they have come back from a 1 to 5 round deficit, which in Siege is pretty damn rare. To come back from that kind of deficit, really, really challenging. So if Fnatic can pull that off, it would be quite the story and would, again, just amplify this best of 3 to another level. I think it was fair to say, though, Invictus probably capitulating a little bit during that execute, the team kill, and not being able to capitalize upon a really strong starting position. Proved costly. If they can continue to be tidy in the early round, I do feel like eventually the late round will probably fall in place.
Looks like the strat from Fnatic is pretty simple here. Got a lot of information gathering, which is nice, but okay, that is the best pick. What a gridlock tracks. Now Stigs is going to try and run out. He does get one traded back. My god, this rush is on like Donkey Kong for IG in the 3-on-3, but Tex does actually make this possible for Fnatic. Claws the advantage back into his corner. 3-on-2 now. Denying that plant was pivotal. Little bit egregious here from Invictus. May have capitulated. Fnatic, they just got a hold here as Speakeasy goes hunting, looking for some picks. 2 players upstairs to find. How much info does he have? May well be spotted on the default cam upstairs in just a moment. And we really are returning to a quiet part of the round as IG have a lot of work ahead of them and not a lot of options.
Speakeasy precariously moving up above. It's a sharp shot, but it's going to be tough to bring this back. And with Joe down, it's now officially a 1 versus 3. Doesn't look like he really has much intel. Head checking a lot of these angles. There's a player at the top of the Visa stairs. Speakeasy lit up. No exchange, no response yet. He cooks a grenade to try and clear that position. However, that defender's already rotated back. Lands some shots there onto Mag, but it's him down below on the pulse to clean up the round for Fnatic.
A little bit better there for Fnatic, but again, I kind of want to look at Invictus there and be like, what was that execute? I think that the pivotal moment was when Tex took down Luna while planting. I personally didn't see where that was. I assumed that Invictus had kind of thrown out their smokes and were kind of trying to plant in an off position. Fnatic must have rushed through the smoke. Like, that must have been what Tex's play was. I can't quite, see it on the replays that I've got on my laptop right now, but it's got to be that was what happened there for Fnatic. So yeah, a bit of a shame for Invictus. Again, feels like a round they probably could have won. But that said, you know, it doesn't matter whether it was a winnable round or a losable round. If you lost it, then you lost it. Every single time that happens, like Fnatic gets one step closer to tying this back up.
2 rounds in a row now where Invictus have had a strong early to mid round. They've set up nicely for the execute, but just faltered at that final hurdle and are struggling to get that plant down. And once you get a plant down on Consulate, being able to retake as a defender on 99% of occasions is going to be impossible. Very, very challenging considering how many deep long lines of sight each of these objectives do have available to the attack once that diffuser is on the deck. Like I said earlier, I think if Invictus can continue to play well as they are in the early round, eventually the late round's going to start clicking into place, but it does reach a point where you can't be lucking it too much because Fnatic are slowly bringing back that disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm really looking at IG now. It's like, come on, you know, you went up 5-1. I know we're going against Fnatic and perhaps they're starting to make a bit of a curse here, coming back in the second half. But look, IG just had 2 winnable rounds in their hands, so it does feel like the onus is on them.
Speakeasy rocking the Fnatic skin.
Nice. That's my Invictus skin.
I don't know. Hopefully we get an Invictus skin cool. That'd be pretty dope. I'd rock that for sure.
What gun would it be on? If you could put it on any gun, what would your Invictus skin be on?
I reckon SMG-11, just because Speakeasy's cracked with the SMG.
Well, you could probably put it on anything Speakeasy touches, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, here goes Mag. He had info here with the cardiac sensor, but no, he's going to die for it. Jordan was cutting that off. Pretty good isolation there from Invictus. Really hunted down Mag.
Mag again going for early round aggression, but shut down Jordan.
Oh, no.
Wow. Stigs tries to find that late trade back, but he as well will feel the pain. The L8 in the hands of Jordan, hitting harder. Great double to open up this round, but Invictus have had advantages before. They need to convert.
God.
But with Speakeasy finding that pick inside of Visa and potentially another one onto Mentalist, surely they could finally get an attack on the board.
And how many picks are Fnatic going to feed to Invictus? Fortunately, Mentalist does win that one. But quickly traded back. I mean, at this point, what can you say? Tex left in a 1-on-4. If anyone can do it, it's, no, it's not Tex. He lost it. So there you go. I guess a valiant effort from Fnatic. I like the ideas of that aggression, but just absolutely shut down.
Yeah, you could see the intent there from Fnatic was if someone falls, someone has to quickly retake that position and try to find the pick back. Good intent, but a pretty disastrous outcome. Mentalist was the only player that eventually was able to find a trade back on a fallen teammate. Even that one was a little bit messy and it was pretty deep into the round considering that both Stigs and Mag had already fallen quite early and the momentum was well and truly with Invictus on that occasion. Now, Invictus have 3 more chances to close this out in regulation. Again, they're putting in really, really good groundwork. And finally now, they have the confidence that they can, in fact, convert an advantage.
Now we are starting to see this lead really, really run away, though, for Invictus. Once you hit that match point, there's no turning back. Fnatic are going to have to push OT. That curse has been broken. No longer are we going to see that 5-1 to 7-5 comeback. I don't know if there's much that Fnatic can really, I guess, lean back on here. They're going back to Garage Cafeteria, which is the site they won. And fortunately, they are changing their strategy a little bit. They're keeping the mirror in from last Teller's defense and adapting it into their Garage defense. Also have that Vigil roaming. The thing is, like, last time Fnatic's roam was just really poor. They lost 2 players. It was Invictus taking so long to get that breach open and shape up for an execute that I think ended up being the death of IG. Let's see if Fnatic can take their fate into their own hands.
I do like the mentality here from Fnatic. It does produce entertaining siege. They're going to try and find picks. That's their goal. Let's try and wither down our opponents and really make those executes tough. But no one from Fnatic at the moment really stepping up. Every single player is going negative at the moment. So trying to play that frag style is going to be tough. It's going to be so tough. Often you can pull it off if one or two players are having a really good game, but hasn't really been the case here. Unfortunately, Mag as well will drop first once again here for Invictus. Jordan as well to get the opener. He's going 10-5. It's been a big game from Jordan, not known for getting huge numbers on the board. Lusty now inside of Private needs to win this fight, and he does.
Well, that's something. There you go. Fnatic do take their first step to getting it back, but once again, an opening pick against them. Once again, aggression punished, but hey, just as often it tends to work. Jordan's found another, though. He is going off, but finally shut down. Oh my god, what is this game, guys? We literally have one guy on the site for Fnatic, and it is just absolute mayhem. Oh. Speakeasy. What is this? Fnatic! What is this for Fnatic? This is the garage defense. 1v2, and Styx is on yellow stairs. He doesn't have site control. Surely Invictus have got it from here on out.
Oh, Styx is getting so aggressive. He lit up Luna before, and he's trying to close out that pick. Invictus in the 2v1, wanting to win this round, win the map, and get a 1-0 lead in this series. They're in a great position to do so. Styx, though, can try and maneuver his way around the map. Invictus, 2 players, 3 players dead, watching drones. Do they have the intel on this smoke?
Looks like Styx has got a little bit of intel for himself. Lobby cam is up. He's got callouts from his teammates. He's biding his time. IG, they just need to have the conviction, but I don't think it's going to work. The pre-fire, that's going to give him away, and the jig will be up for Styx. But not a lot of time for him to bait out here, as IG just flood deeper and deeper into this impenetrable fortress. Styx is going to try and make something work down the elevator hatch. Proning on through, he might be able to deny this plant, but Luna gets it down. Now a difficult position for Styx. Invictus take map 1 in what can only be described as a chaotic map from Fnatic. Invictus go 1-up in the series.
A strong start for Invictus. They punish the aggression from Fnatic, who are clutching at straws to get advantages in these rounds. Invictus too good in the end. A 7-3 scoreline could have been even worse for Fnatic had it not have been for a couple of sloppy attack rounds there from Invictus. A huge match from Jordan and a good confidence booster for the Southeast Asians rather, heading in to the second map.
Was their map pick, but mate, they certainly made it look. There's a 5-1 first half, and really, I'm gonna say it, the only reason that wasn't a 7-1 was because Invictus made some mistakes in those 2 attacks that they probably shouldn't have on a regular day. They lost 2 advantageous positions, and Fnatic were given that in. Fnatic looked to maybe continue this curse that they have been putting on Q-Confirm of coming back from 5-1 deficits, but Invictus eventually, quelled any doubts they had in themselves and closed out the map. A really strong one from them in the end, and I will say it did look quite dominant for IG. Now, guys, we've got map 2 coming up in a moment, but before that, let's toss back over to the boys on the analyst desk.
Invictus get it done on their map pick of Consulate 7-3. They also overcome the 5-1 curse that apparently Q-Confirm suffered twice in the earlier match against Fnatic. Raven, though, big win for Invictus. They go 1-up. They only need 1 more now heading into Clubhouse after this game. Do you back them in to make it a 2-0?
I mean, after seeing that, I feel like yes. I mean, this was Invictus's map pick. We did question a little bit, though, because Fnatic have had pretty strong results on Consulate of recent history. But no, Invictus clearly had a plan that they executed on quite well. Just looking back at some of the stats, just seeing that Fnatic really only had 2-3 opening kills in the entire 10 rounds. It just felt like Invictus did have Fnatic's number that entire map. Yeah, I feel pretty confident Invictus will go out with the 2-0 victory in the series now, but you can never quite call Fnatic out of it.
It's the biggest problem, isn't it? Fnatic are one of those teams that can turn on a dime and really surprise us all. And I mean, we do go to Clubhouse next, which I think it's a pocket map for them. I think that they're about to blow us all away with what they have in store. However, when you look at how Invictus have won this, it was 5-1 first half, right? Fnatic, that was their attacking side, which has looked so strong today against Q-Confirm. Not only that, but Invictus went to every site on their defense and absolutely styled on Fnatic from start to finish in the first half alone. I will say that. Now, you can probably attest that to some individual performances, but across the board, Invictus looked really strong, and that I think is a warning sign for Fnatic moving forward in this series.
Yeah, certainly agree with you there, Rob. It's looking very good for Invictus. For Fnatic, they now need to win 2 maps in a row if they are to advance to the lower bracket final. We're going to go to a break and come back. Clubhouse on the other side.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. I'm not backing down, cause the future is now. Not backing down, cause the future is now. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future.
is all Invictus Gaming off the back of the first map on Constellate. 1 to go, of course, or maybe 2. We'll have to see. Raven, it is Clubhouse coming up very, very shortly.
It is Clubhouse coming up very, very shortly. Look, I'm really thinking, again, Invictus have already proved today that they looked pretty strong on Clubhouse. Sure, it was against Fav, who at that stage kind of looked a bit out of it, but I don't know, just based on what we've already seen, both from that Clubhouse match as well as the Consulate map we just watched, I think Invictus are rightfully favourites coming into Clubhouse.
Yeah, you'd have to say that, you know, the way that we saw Invictus win against Fav is probably the most damning of all parts. You know, like, their mini games were absolutely excellent. Opening up kennels, jacuzzi, or even denying kennels was phenomenal from that roster. So it's certainly something that I'd look out for when Fnatic is attacking. However, I'm going to say this right now. Fnatic haven't played Clubhouse in over 25 maps. Now, it was meant to be the final and deciding match against Mercenaries. Of course, that didn't end up happening. So this is, and by the way, the one time that we saw it 25 maps ago was also the only time we've seen it in 2021. So I seriously am going to hold my reservations, regardless of how good Invictus were on Clubhouse. I genuinely think that this is just something that that they're about to pull out of the rabbit's hat. Oh God, what's
Speaking
this?
of pulling out of the rabbit's hat,
yeah, he's.
I just had to write it all down. I mean, this is some good stuff. That's all I can say, Matic. You're on fire today, mate. You're absolutely killing it. But look, another team that's killing it, Invictus Gaming. I think that this one is definitely all of theirs to take. Raven, do you agree that this is looking likely to be a 2-0?
I think it's very likely. I will say, though, to start to spin the story for Fnatic here, to Rob's point, we obviously haven't seen a lot of Clubhouse from Fnatic. It's their map pick. That is always an indicator that they've just been keeping it aside for a time that they really need it. And, of course, that time is right now. Also, looking at their stats, they're the ones that have been banning it. It has been banned for, at least in the stats collection we have in DevMarter's match tracker, it's been banned by them 30 of a possible 39 times. There's probably some math I haven't done there, but regardless, like, that is a lot. It's the second most banned map by Fnatic. So they have been hiding it, probably been working out some pretty cool stuff on it. I think that does make this a little bit spicy.
And the fact that they also left it in for Mercenaries as well. These are all do-or-die matches. They weren't willing to leave it in when we saw them in the best of ones, and I think that that is a clear indicator that they really are saving it for a moment of need. And, I mean, talk about a moment of need. You lose this and you're out. You're gone. You have no more opportunity to go to the Mexico Major. And, of course, the SI points are all but gone, apart from what you've already accumulated. So this is a big one for Fnatic. And honestly, I think we're going to a third map here. I think that Fnatic have something up their sleeve for sure.
We'll see if that rings true. Of course, Invictus up 1-0 though. We are heading over to Clubhouse. Going to throw it over to two very good casters. One of them's done SI in person. The other one has never left his house.
Well, it's all right, guys, because we're getting out of lockdown tomorrow, and I'm sure you can go and see the outside world for the first time. But people who need to come out of their shells right now are Fnatic, because they looked a little bit asleep. Let's see if they can do any better on their own map pick.
Yeah, I see this map going one of two ways. Fnatic have either been hiding this map and they're going to come out of the gates and absolutely blow Invictus out of the water, or Invictus will play like they did against Fav and do the same to their opponents. So either way, I'm sure it's going to be a great matchup, but Fnatic really, really need to dig deep. This is their final chance in the lower bracket.
And their final chance to make it to the Mexico 6 Major. Invictus are gunning for that spot. They only barely scraped into the playoffs, but they can make it all the way to the Major. If they beat Fnatic right now, they'll have one last chance in that lower bracket final, but Fnatic are not out. They may be wounded, but an animal wounded is an animal that is dangerous. Let's dig into this ban phase here.
Bit of an ominous feeling heading to Clubhouse between these two, as we saw in their historical matchup. During the break, this was the map where we last saw these two go head-to-head in a best-of-3 in an APAC playoffs format, and it was Invictus to knock out Fnatic for the very first time at such an event. Of course, they went on to Tokoname, the Pro League Finals. That's where they put in a stellar performance against then Giants, now Rogue, and from there, it has been somewhat smooth sailing. At least it was through 2020, but 2021 not been so great for Invictus. So looking to put their foot down here against their old foes in Fnatic. Maverick and Thatcher off the board. Can you think of something interesting to say about that, Dev?
Yeah, just bloody hell, hard breach is going to be a headache. Thankfully, they are banning out Kaid. If Kaid was left in, those hatches on the basement would be such a headache to clear off. Like, maybe you can get the kitchen one with some nades. The Moto one is really hard to get. You can technically get it with nades, but I think it's quite difficult. And then the blue one, you can just say goodbye to. So, yeah, look, with Kaid banned, it does make things a little bit easier for the attack, but it means that clearing off util from walls, things like bandit batteries, and mute jammers, like, you're either bringing a Kali, which most teams don't do because it's just a lot of effort to have someone, you know, playing with that sniper rifle. Fnatic is going to prove me wrong, though. They're teasing it. Or you can go below. You can clear those bandit batteries and mute jammers off vertically or through other methods. So it's not the end of the world, but hey, Kali does really streamline the process.
Kind of hope Mentalist sticks it. There's a real chance that he does 6-pick off the Kali, but no, he's actually going to lock it in, and Tex will in fact be the one to 6-pick off Hibana onto Ace. So good read here from Fnatic. Hibana, of course, really good on basement, but Ace arguably better above. So good read here from Fnatic to kick things off. We also have seen a 6-pick on the side of Invictus. Hysterics on the Bandit. Now again, casting our minds back to the Invictus versus Fav matchup earlier this afternoon. The mini-game play from Invictus was second to none. It was basically flawless, and a lot of that was off the back of their ability to bandit trick these main walls and make life really difficult for the attack. If Invictus can replicate that form once again against Fnatic, who have already shown signs that they're struggling a little bit on attacks, at least they did on Consulate, again, another ball game, that is going to really bode well for the Singaporeans.
Yeah, look, that's a really smart 6-pick from Hysterics. I don't think this was necessarily premeditated. I'm sure he would have been apt to pick whatever he was previously on.
Frost,
but,
I think it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, maybe not then. But
hey, what's wrong with Frost? I don't accept Frost slander out here, Dab.
Maybe not on cash, but here, let me get to my point, right? So Invictus sees that Fnatic are going for the easy way out of this Thatcher map ban, which is to pick the Kali. And Kali has a counter just like Thatcher. That is the bandit juggle. Like, so what if you can use Kali's lance to clear off those batteries from the wall? If they're getting juggled, it essentially nullifies that entire Kali pick because you have to go below anyway. You can see Fnatic have absolutely no clue. They can counter the bandit juggle in another way, though. Okay, I don't know how.
Did he miss it?
No, Hysterics actually bandit juggled the right-hand wall, which was the one with the Ace Selmas. I thought he went for the left wall, which was the one with the exothermic on it, but hey, I mean, look, it was good from Fnatic. I feel like I got a bit caught up there, but it was a decent solution to that problem from Fnatic. Not a perfect solution, but it did end up having the desired result.
Yeah, common tactic currently on the attack is to double hard breach that wall simultaneously. It means that at least you'll get one line of sight. Now, ideally for Invictus, they would have preferred to deny the exothermic charge from Mag. That would have prevented the run-in breach that's now available later in the round if Fnatic want to play that cross. Elsewhere, Speak Easy dropping the ball there and falling to the hands of the Lusty through the wall. Previously downed, of course. It's been a bit of a shaky start here for Invictus. Joe narrowly misses that opportunity to maybe find one back. At the halfway point in this round, Fnatic looking quite good.
Yeah, and Mentalist is Kali all the way on the Kennel's balcony. Really, I guess, ambitious from Hysterics to try and peek that, but putting a little bit of pressure by opening some downstairs windows, and Lusty does go down. Luna on for a flank. Really good stuff from him. Now he's right around the corner from Mag. Luna does open an escape route out, so he can start to slip away into the brickwork, but Mag has actually taken down Jordan in the meanwhile.
Lusty sitting on a drone here. Does Fnatic have flank watch established here? Mag sets some up for himself. Luna in a great position to maybe fire this pick. Both players aware of one another's location, but it's Mag to win that gunfight out. The holo on the 5.56 nets him a kill. Now it's Joe over towards Rafters and Hysterics next to the breach to try and bring back a 2 versus 4. They're being droned out relentlessly here by Fnatic. Both players revealed this will be tough.
Stigs is in such a strong position as well to cut off any rotation in CCTV. This should be a Fnatic round, and Stigs locks it in. A great opening attack here on Clubhouse from Fnatic, dealing with everything IG had to show.
I know we said it in the pre-show, and I know we're probably going to touch on this quite a bit, but it is coming down to these mini-games. It seems to be the case often in Clubhouse matches that mini-games win games, and on that occasion, the main breach being opened in such a way that much pressure to be applied to Invictus. Was such a good start from Fnatic, and then we did see IG maybe getting a little bit too aggressive off-site, particularly on that bedroom side of the map, and Meg cleaning up those picks. They had such a good groundwork established on that attack and looking a lot more comfortable than they did on any of those consulate attacks. Fnatic, maybe this is the reason they've been hiding this map.
It's entirely possible. Fnatic are going to have to dig deep here, though. It has been a long time since they've played Clubhouse in an official. Like, we're talking APAC North League 2021 Stage 1. So back in April, they played Guts Gaming and lost. But that was with Alfama, of course, as well. So a little bit of a different roster there. The only other time it's made it through the ban phase was against Mercenaries in their game just yesterday. But, of course, Fnatic dealing with it 2-0 meant that they didn't need Clubhouse, which was the decider. So here, it means that Invictus don't necessarily have a lot of info on how Fnatic play this map, whereas you can kind of say perhaps Fnatic did a bit more research onto Invictus's Clubhouse game, such as the Order one from Stage 2 in APAC South. Despite that, Fnatic has clearly got a lot to show here.
Round number 2. Invictus not electing to reattempt CCTV and Cash, instead relocating over towards Bedroom and Gym. Similar minigames though still to be played out on this top floor. Mag will be looking to open up the Jacuzzi wall, which has a mute jammer placed on it. You can see by the red indicator bottom left of the screen, making this pretty challenging to open up. Now I assume that a lance from Mentalist on that wall would have the range to take that jammer out. We'll soon find out, as Mentalist is currently droning, just ensuring that the team is safe as they go for this play. Stig's watching the dirt rotation. Here we go, here's the lance.
Here comes the exothermic as well. No counter for that from Invictus. They're happy to get this wall open. They have a mirror window facing it and a mute jammer to protect the mirror window from any hard breach as well. Of course, that lance will deal with that, and the Selma to come through as well. This is really, really nice from Fnatic. Absolutely no time wasted. What a perfect way to deal with that, but that's a shot and a half from Joe. Even though he was droned out, he still lands that shot onto Stigs. Can take out the drone as well. So, look, despite Fnatic, I guess, winning that mini game, they don't win the opening fight.
Just prior to that, Mag, as you could see, spamming the diffuser, picking it up and picking it back down, trying to drop it down over towards the Jacuzzi balcony. He did eventually succeed as his teammate fell, suggesting that Fnatic will try and enter through that breach later on in this round and attempt to get that plant down. Strong positions held here by Invictus. Mentalist on the breach. He's down. Remember, the diffuser is out there. Fnatic will need to reposition there and try and claim it back. A tough, tough place to find themselves in.
Joe's done great work here. Through that drone hole, he got the injure. Now he's holding a really pivotal position. Fnatic do have players all over the shop at the moment. It means they've got a lot of control, but Joe's found another one. Picking apart Fnatic just through this tiny little drone hole. Speakeasy also has a shield to play off. There are layers upon layers of this setup for Invictus. It doesn't matter that their mirror window's gone. They have something else to hide behind. Now, Joe to hold the con push. Lusty does take him down. Speakeasy, the next one to meet him, as he is put into a really precarious position. He can find the double. Invictus, they gotta be happy to have Speakeasy on their side when he can pull things out like that.
Not quite sure how else to frame it other than Speakeasy. He's just built different, isn't he? Yep. He has been such a standout player in Asia Pacific. Last year he was. This year he has been. Even with Invictus going through a slump, he continues week in, week out to put in huge performances, and the playoffs have been no different. He was the top-rated player heading in to today, and I can't help but feel that rating is going to be sustained, especially with number 2 from Fav, who was close behind in second, having a little bit of a shocker today. Speakeasy, just what an incredible player. And yes, many are going to say that was a pretty easy cleanup in the end, but still, the ability for him to consistently produce results like that is really impressive.
And he didn't tunnel vision on the guy that was dueling him from Condor, right? Like, as soon as he was forced back to play behind the chassis, he realized, okay, I'm completely exposed to the breach now. So he watched the breach, and he punished the player that was pushing in from there. And then immediately after that kill, turns his attention back to the forefront at player Con. So overall, just really good composure, really good game sense, and taking things one step at a time. Juggling multiple tasks at once as well, so really good stuff for him. Also his first 2 kills in the game, so sometimes you don't pop off all the time, but hey, when it matters, it matters.
Could be the first of many, and if Speakeasy does really rev up in this map, how will Fnatic shut him down? Because every other team in APAC seems to struggle in achieving that objective, so definitely something we'll be keeping our eyes on. Interesting that Fnatic are continuing to stick the Kali here. As you mentioned, Dev, not too long ago, she's not the most popular of picks, neither in matchmaking nor competitive, and rightly so. A little bit cumbersome having to carry around that sniper, and it can be very, very difficult to hold your weight in the frag department, but I guess if Maverick and Thatcher are banned out, she could be a viable pick in allowing Tex to open up those hatches, or even Mag as well with those exothermics.
Bandit was teased here by, I believe it was Speakeasy, before 6 picking off. So perhaps Invictus were trying to tell Fnatic that they're going up to cache CCTV, but no, this basement defense instead. Now the thing is, Fnatic have a lot of work to do. They've just basically done the map control, I think. Pretty sure at this point they've cleared the whole map. They know it's time to just start opening these hatches. Now with Hibana in, that could not be easier. With Kaid banned, oh! It is Hibana's dream. She can just do everything. All these hatches like mincemeat. And it really does give Fnatic just so much time in the mid-round to get to work on this vert, setting up for their execute.
Bomb located by attackers.
C4 from Speakeasy over towards Kitchen Hallway. Doesn't really find much, and will be a welcome addition to Lusty, who is, of course, trying to open up the floor himself. Kitchen hatch opened up freely here by the attack. Lusty continues to work that floor. All 5 members still alive here on the defense. Steric's inside of dirt, and the rest of the team back towards site as that dirt breach has been opened by Mag. That could well be a location that an attacker tries to push late round to maybe pinch out this armory hold from Invictus. Joe takes down a drone, contests the hatch, pre-fires Lusty. What a shot to give Invictus the early round advantage and alleviate some of that pressure in blue.
How do you win that, man? Like, what a flick, just little aim correction. Lusty had everything going for them. He had the info, and look, Fnatic were just in such a good position. With a minute to go, they had just about everything open they could hope for. And now they're down 2 players. Now Speakeasy's lost his shield, but he still wins the fight! How does this happen? Invictus step it up massively. 4 versus 2 now. Fnatic try and make something come out of nothing. The Kali bottom main stairs can take down Luna, but Mentalist is going to have to do a lot better than that. Joe dueling in blue, and it's Jordan to take down Mag. The timer runs out. Fnatic cannot get their execute together.
A strong hold there in the dying seconds from Invictus. Some really good mid-round aggression there, particularly over towards blue, to alleviate some of that pressure and really force the clock onto Fnatic, who couldn't quite find those picks and win those ones to get that entry in towards the site cleanly. It was once again Speakeasy to go large in that round. I don't know how he managed that feat with his shield taken down, but time and time again he continues to produce amazing results, and that round is no different.
It's really concerning just for Fnatic, like the fact that they played that so well and still Invictus can pull that rabbit out of the hat. Like, what is that? Like, honestly, I think that the first 2 minutes of that round from Fnatic were, I mean, they were amazing. They were just like, you know, you clear the map, you open up everything, you set up. They had, even dirt was open, they had cleared out back armory. Like, it was just so ready for a beautiful 5v5 execute that's going to favor the attackers. And just before they were ready to do so, spanner after spanner was thrown into the works and just gunked up the plan, and from that point forward, everything spiraled out of control. Still nothing to write home about yet in terms of a lead, as Invictus do take it for the first time, 2-1, but nothing to be too concerned about for Fnatic, as they are on their attack. That Chamav ban, I think that if they get 2 in this half, they'll probably be pretty satisfied.
Jordan throwing out a Valcam there outside the vents window. Now, Mentalist did have a pre-placed actually on top of the white van out towards the front of the map. So that might have been spotted by Fnatic, and if it is, then that's great for the attack. They'll be able to play on that bedroom balcony position and feel a little bit safer. Again, though, it's going to come down to this mini-game. Over towards Kennel's wall. Mag on the Thermite. He wants to use those exothermic charges once again to open up the wall. Tex alongside to double up on the hard breach, and Hysterics will have his hands full.
Yeah, but they're going to burn him to a crisp, surely, with the Capitao. Apparently not. Nope. Yeah, apparently not. I guess the Capitao was used to clear rafters, because I certainly did not see any Capitao firebolts there. I assumed he would be on the CCTV window, ready to come in and help out, but no, he wasn't. Why did Mag not breach that wall? I think the Bandit battery didn't get destroyed somehow by the Kali charge. So
they might be waiting for Stigs to actually flame it. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I guess I was just too ahead, and a bit of miscommunication there. X put that first Selma down. I don't know exactly what happened, but I guess it's the kind of the same result as we saw last attack from Fnatic.
Yeah, with breach open, they can begin to work the rest of the objective and decide how they want to approach it. Will Fnatic try and click Garage? That could be the play. Tex does find one there onto Joe. That's the Jaeger. I assume he was playing Rafters position. He was. You can see the little orange box there on the Rafters. Smoke grenades head out. Fnatic maybe trying to go for something early here, but they won't commit. Mag's still outside the breach.
It's a good start for Fnatic. They've got this main breach open. They have their pick. Very similar to what we saw in Fnatic's previous attack of this bomb site. Now, once Stiggs gets off drone, I'll be able to see if he has any fire left. He doesn't, just the one smoke. So Rafter's going to be, I guess, a little bit more difficult to completely guarantee that it's clear, but I guess since they've already taken down Joe, it shouldn't matter too much. It's just these players down in Lounge. Oh, the timing on that nade was almost perfect. Jordan's going to see what damage he can do. Takes down one player. You just can't count out these Invictus guys in their ones, but Fnatic are playing it really well, making sure they're guaranteeing these trades. No way Luna gets out of this with his life, as he is taken down 20 seconds on the clock. And this is set up so well for Fnatic, but with time ticking away, they have to make this one shot count. The Speakeasy is ready to receive. Good job from Styx, though. All on Hysterics, the man, the myth, the legend, but he can only find that player with the diffuser before he's traded back. A big round from Styx.
Really good cleanup there from Fnatic in the late round. They played so well off that drone intel. Luna in particular, a really good example there of a player from Invictus who was pressured a lot by information, was forced to make a play, but then immediately shut down as Fnatic had gained control down below off the back of that trade onto the Valk. Overall, clean from Fnatic. It was a little bit of a slow start. I'm not sure exactly what happened there on the breach, as it was delayed a little bit, but they made up for lost time, and I think it's fair to say, Dev, that this map is shaping up to be a little bit closer than Consort.
Yeah, look, if anything, I feel like Fnatic is winning this game so far, this map. Just really liking their attacks, especially those cache CCTV attacks. Even on Church Arsenal, we saw quite a bit of good from them. Their gym bedroom, I mean, not as much, but you know, if they're really convincingly winning cache CCTV consistently, and if they looked pretty good on Church Arsenal, then they have a pretty decent shot here for 3-3 half. Maybe, like, I don't know if they're 4-2s on the cards. I don't necessarily think. Maybe if they win this round, their gym attack, because that was the one bomb site they were struggling, maybe it's a possibility. But even a 3-3 half here is a win for Fnatic in my books.
Yeah, I would agree. They look a lot more comfortable than they did on Consulate, where it often felt like Fnatic were trying to artificially manufacture frags. We saw them play very, very, very aggressively. And yes, I know, of course, it's consulate. You're going to see teams play naturally a little bit more aggressive. But it got to the point where it was a little bit too extreme. And it feels like Clubhouse, a map which we don't really know a whole lot about Fnatic so far heading into this one because we don't have a whole lot of history. The more structured nature of this map seems to be favorable for them. They're doing a really, really good job in these mini games. And this could be a really, really big start.
Early man advantage, and that's also going to make Fnatic, or rather Invictus, a lot more scared of playing that position.
Kendall's breach popped now by Mag, who's been putting in some really good work there on the Thermite. Lusty as well, aiding on Garage Rafters. Softwall able to be breached with the Sledgehammer, but again, another minigame coming up being Cash. Jordan immediately inside, has control. Speakeasy inside of Con. Now this is a setup we've actually seen from Wildcard in APAC South, only reinforcing one of those CCTV walls and leaving the left side soft. So quite aggressive here from Invictus. Will it pay off?
Similar to what we see from Wildcard in their attacks. This is the Milo strat right here. Let's see if Jordan can do some damage. Hello! Special delivery, express postage. See you later, Jordan.
Speakeasy needs to hold down the fort now. Doubling down alongside Hysterics in Con. Fnatic with a clear advantage at the moment. It's a 5 versus 3. The defense forced back. Good droning there from Fnatic, ensuring that it is clear. The question will be, can Fnatic remain poised? They have done a really good job in closing out rounds when they've been in these positions before.
5v3, just got to do everything right from here. Should be fairly simple and clear cut, but Speakeasy's going to make a play. Anything is possible. 30 seconds now for Fnatic in this 4v2. And all things considered, they've got a decent position, but Invictus are waiting to receive. And these players, these Singaporeans, have been so sharp on their aim. Really well played, though, cutting out Hysterics. That must have been from Logistic. Jordan, or Joe rather, is watching the angle, but taken down. 2v2 now, and Speakeasy has done so much. And now it's all on Stigs. Has to get that diffuser. 7 seconds to plant. And Speakeasy's got to go and win this 1v1. He sees it, and Stigs can get off, but not with enough time. A 4K from Speakeasy and the clutch. A massive play from the #1 player in the APAC playoffs.
Huge again from Speakeasy. You cannot count this man out. His ability to clutch, second to none. Did a great job in holding down Logi. We saw him running down the main stairs desperately from the clutches of Stigs, thinking that he was going to get shot in the back of the head, but then of course had the presence of mind to run straight back up, and it was very, very close. Stigs, maybe in another universe, wins out that one, but it wasn't meant to be, and that's a huge round for Speakeasy to crawl back for Invictus.
Massive, massive clutch, massive 4K, really, really impressive from Invictus to claw back a round that absolutely should not have been theirs. That was just so good from Fnatic in the early round, 2 opening picks. Even that conversion into the late round wasn't too bad, but when the pressure is there, they do start to crumble a little bit. And Invictus always back themselves in those fights. They never count them out. When it comes to that late round, going in with a disadvantage doesn't matter. The ones seem to almost always go Invictus's way. Fnatic are playing some really smart Siege right now. They're really well organized and coordinated, but they're just not tight enough for the way Invictus is playing.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It has felt like across the board Fnatic in terms of their minigames and their strategy excelling, playing quite well, but if you can't win ones against Speakeasy and the rest of the team that is stepping up, well, you can be the best team strategically. It's just not going to be a good day for you. And it was, what, the second round, I think, when Speakeasy got, what was it, 2 kills? And we were sort of teasing it. We were like, you know, maybe if Speakeasy steps up here, it's going to be tough for Fnatic. And I'll admit, at the time, that was wishful thinking. And maybe a little bit of APAC South bias, but from that point onwards, Speakeasy has just been massive. His impact in every single game throughout this stage, and even stage 1, has just always been felt. Such a scary player to come up against here for Fnatic. I think it's really going to be up to the boys from APAC North to just try and isolate him as best as possible and not feed him. I know that's probably very easy to say here up in the peanut gallery, as we like to call it, but at the end of the day, if you feed Speakeasy and you give him these ones and you're not being able to win those engagements, it's going to be very, very costly on the scoreboard.
I think one of the things I do wonder is, like, if Fnatic just kind of go into every angle pre-aiming and really ready to take a gunfight, how much will they be able to punish Invictus, or will they still lose those ones? Now, I'm thinking, for example, Speakeasy on the last Church defense, he was playing that Vulcan shield in Church. Once that was destroyed, he just swung Moto. And he got 1 kill, I believe he was then traded. But if the Fnatic players were kind of a bit more aware and predicting that aggression from Invictus, maybe they would punish it, like we saw Invictus do to Fnatic on Consulate.
Maybe that's the mentality that they need to have, and being confident in winning engagements might be the play, instead of avoiding Speakeasy, as I suggested. Maybe try and take him head on and try and shut him down. The rest of the team might not be able to cope under the pressure of not having him available in the server still. That could well be what it takes here for Fnatic. Meanwhile, though, Lusty side of Kitchen working up the floor. Sticks elsewhere. I presume Blue finds Joe. He was holding that position last defense.
Sticks has been great today, just saying.
Yeah, big performance from him. Now it's up to someone else to try and step up in this round, or can Invictus produce a well-rounded team effort? They have got the man disadvantage. If Fnatic go for a clean execute here, try and trade out picks, you would assume they'd be able to convert this round and even out the half.
30 seconds left, and look, Fnatic might have the pick once again, but this is not as strong an advantage as they had on their last basement attack, and they lost that. This is the pivotal moment now. As Fnatic start to make their execute, will Invictus win these ones? Mentalist goes deep, Jordan holds down the fort at dummies, and Speakeasy to hold on to Blue. Plant going down, only 2 players from Invictus are up, and Asterix is biding his time. He can take down the player bot main, but they clearly don't know that Ashwall is soft and that Mag is prone on the other side. It's all up to Mag now. He's got that diffuser down. He needs to step up here in the 1-on-2, but Speakeasy, once again, nothing can stop him, it seems. He shuts down Mag, and Invictus can tidy up that half, 4-2.
Another multi-kill for Speakeasy. He is just pulling them out left, right, and center at the moment. It was a little bit sloppy there from Fnatic over towards Blue, but they still managed to get that plant down. Unfortunately, though, the crossfires held there by Invictus. They were able to get that res, and it was a 3-on-1. Just like that, the tables had turned, and who else but Speakeasy to convert the final pick. And an easy counter defuse with plenty of time remaining there for Invictus. A great way to close out the half. A 4-2 lead. Really, really impressive, considering Fnatic looked really, really solid. They were playing some great Siege, especially when the scoreline was 2-2. We were theorizing that Fnatic could well and truly gain the lead themselves, but it wasn't meant to be, and Invictus really, really nailing those last couple of rounds of the half.
This is definitely a far better Fnatic than we saw on Consulate, right? I think just everything looks better. The coordination, their strategy, they just look much more together as a team. But yeah, not getting that 3-3 half is a little bit of a concern for me, guys. Like, you can have amazing cash attacks. It doesn't count for anything if you can't win your gym or church attacks. And even though they did get fairly close on the reattempt at both of those, it doesn't translate into the scoreboard whatsoever. And so Fnatic are just going to need to have a really, really interstellar defense half now. Like 5-1 defense is what they're going to be gunning for here to close their map in overtime, rather without overtime, or a minimum 4 defenses to push OT. Even then, you know, they would have to win in overtime on their defensive side. So it's just not easy. There is no easy way out from Fnatic. And I think Invictus is starting to gain some momentum here and poise for the 2-0.
Once again, we can see the Carly in play. Hysterics on this occasion. It was their ex-teammate Mentalist playing it for Fnatic in the first half. And much like Hysterics was for Invictus, Tex is going to be the player assigned to try and juggle the wall. Will Invictus be able to pull this off cleanly?
Already preparing to... No, okay. So here comes the Kali, and there goes those bandit batteries. He still has 2 left. What are they doing?
Are they shooting the Excaris in the middle of the wall to try and maybe get something to detonate on each side? I'm not too sure, but surely Speakeasy just needs to come alongside Jordan, just like Fnatic did, and pop both sides open. I don't know why they're wasting so much utility the way they are. And now Jordan doesn't have any Excaris left.
Oh, well, they did use all the Excaris to do that, but they did get the wall open with the Exothermic. That is one of the weirdest strats I've ever seen to mini-gaming that wall, but
it worked. So.
It did work. Look, they did end up destroying all of Tex's bandit batteries with the lances. It took every single Excaris pellet and every single lance, but, you know, job done, I guess.
Efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency is clever laziness, so I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Minute 20 left in the round, though. Seems like Invictus may well consider a rotation over towards Con. Again, Speakeasy with only 1 Excaris remaining, so if they want to open up CCTV wall, that might be pretty challenging from Cash. Or rather, if they want to open Cash wall from Con, as I twist my words, Mag down below, though, finds Hysterics, and I was just about to say, if they want to try and open up that wall, downstairs control probably will be required, but with Mag still looming, that could be challenging. Let's see if Invictus can in fact get this wall open. Tex also below.
Ooh, what a
pick the hatch.
Surely Tex can do some damage here with the B7 doesn't get
no.
it. How do you lose that? It's Speakeasy. And Speakeasy still has an Exothermic. There's also a nade from Luna. Might not even be needed. And wow, after all that, the wall should get breached here. That impact might have just... No, okay, he didn't even plant the Exothermic. 4v3 now for Invictus as they just flood on through Mentalists against his former team. In the 1-on-3, it cannot be done. Luna shuts it down, and that is a cash attack for Invictus and a step closer to that lower bracket final.
Started to look a little bit scary there for Invictus, struggling on that second minigame on that construction wall. It was well tricked by Lusty, but again, Invictus, unlike what we've seen recently, were initiating fights there. They decided, lads, this isn't going to work out. Let's try and flood site, find picks, and win the round that way. That's the kind of initiation and confidence that has been lacking from Invictus over the last sort of 6 months, where we have seen them in this slump. So a really good return to form, at least in that particular round. Fnatic were caught off guard. I don't think they were necessarily expecting that sort of aggression, and if they were, once again, not winning their 1v1 engagements. Sure, Fnatic's strategy and their minigame play for the most part has been really solid, but for whatever reason, the ones are really not going their way at the moment. It's showing on the scoreboard with Invictus now securing a 3-round lead.
If there's going to be any example I can give for the point you just said, it would be, I think it was Tex downstairs in bar on the Bandit, losing to Speakeasy. That is so painful. He literally has a C4. You know, he could go up, throw a C4 through the hatch. He could just, he saw him. You know, MP7's a good gun, perfect for that kind of angle. And even on the retreat, he gets punished. It's just an example of how on fire Speaky is. 12-3 right now. That is almost more kills than the rest of his team combined. The rest of his team has 15 kills, and he has 12.
And he's playing hard breach, so yeah, best of both worlds. And I guess that has been a bit of a trend in Siege competitive over the last couple of years, is you can't really get away with the excuse of, oh, I'm hard breach, I don't need to get kills, and Speakeasy really living up to that mantra. Thermite with the 5.56, quite strong, and the AK-12 even stronger really in the hands of the Ace, in which Speakeasy will be looking to capitalize upon here in round 8. It is a basement defense, so don't get caught off guard here. It's a top floor extension and Mag's position, yeah. It's known, it's revealed, and it's up to Invictus to try and pinch this out as quickly as possible.
Oh my god! Naded through the wall. That is just perfect from Invictus, leaving no stone unturned as Tex also droned out now. Really struggling to take down that drone and maintain his safety. He'll be feeling a lot of pressure here. But Tex an incredibly talented individual player. Hasn't quite been in form recently. Speakeasy looking to cut him off, deals a lot of damage, but he slips back downstairs all the way, in fact, as Lusty does accompany him down.
And with those Rainbows back towards site, that should allow Invictus now to take map control and begin to work the hatches. That said, Lusty, he thinks about a retake. You could see in his movement, do I go back above, try and find a pick, or do I play down below and not allow Invictus the two-man advantage? But unfortunately for Fnatic, it's happening elsewhere. Hysterics finds that pick. I don't know how he got the down, maybe a no-scope with the sniper. Either way, though, we didn't quite catch it. What we do know is Invictus now with a two-man advantage, and they are looking so strong here to try and claim match point.
It's been a long road for Invictus. I know that they took it personally when they moved from APAC North to APAC South. They were very vocal about how they were disappointed to no longer get to play all those North teams. Well, now they do. And they're showing that their move to APAC South may well have been a move to a stronger division of APAC Rainbow Six.
Ooh,
it's been a long time coming for them to make it back to the playoffs after an abysmal Stage 1. Even in Stage 2, they were so close to getting last place in APAC South League as a whole. But this looks like a new Invictus.
Yeah, good clear above, shields taken down. Invictus can start thinking about this executors. Flashes fly out. Fnatic need to try and hold blue, but it's going to be tough.
Mentalist does hold on, but traded back. Invictus poised to take match point in the 4 versus 1. All on Tex, lit up. Surely no hope in the 1-on-4. They flood him. Speak easy once again, lighting up the scoreboard. And he puts Invictus onto match point, series point, on the verge of making it to that lower bracket final.
A fantastic roam there, or roam clear there from Invictus. Both Mag and Stigs taken down cheaply, and from there they mounted such a strong attack. Basically impossible for the remaining members to win that one out there for Fnatic. The 4-round lead for Invictus. They're on match point at the moment to take this series in a 2-0 fashion against one of their oldest rivalries in Comp Siege. Invictus looking to continue that run in the lower bracket, and they are looking so comfortable in the best of 3 format. We had doubts heading into the playoffs and whether or not their form was good enough, but it seems as if their best of 3 form is much better than their best of 1 form. Luna himself in the earlier interview after the Fav victory saying that is the case. They do feel a lot better, and the results are showing it.
Yeah, they certainly do. It's been a difficult road for Invictus, but I think they're finally starting to see some sunlight through the clouds. They're finally starting to regain that confidence and feel more like themselves. You know, it was Luna himself who said, I think we're the best team in APAC. We just sometimes forget, and sometimes we don't play like it. And of course, this isn't the grand final or anything like that, and Fnatic are by no means the hardest adversary Invictus will face in this bracket. But every step Invictus takes toward their former glory is another step towards becoming an international competitor once again. And of course, another step towards that Mexico major.
Staying in between them and the match is this defense from Fnatic. It's over towards Gym Bedroom. That's quite the Velt cam there thrown out by Lusty. Full vision of the likes of Luna on the balcony, and that makes this position a little bit precarious, but Invictus won't know it, and I doubt they'll find that camera during this round. So far away and so difficult to spot. I mean, even if they did have an IQ, the scanner wouldn't even have the range to find it.
Attackers have located a bomb.
IG mounting for a Jacuzzi take. 1 lance used on the wall. Mag will throw down a bandit battery in response, but Invictus not immediately acting upon that. Instead, they bait him out, they take down the castle barricade, and they get the freest opening down to start this round.
That was so well played. They were pre-firing even before the castle barricade was destroyed. And the nade to follow through.
Oh,
no
so
stone
good.
unturned. Invictus are on fire right now.
Such big brain play there from Invictus to get that pick. Nothing really Mag could do in that position, but Lusty, with a big brain of his own, trying to maybe find one back. Punching the garage wall. What can he spot on the balcony? Nothing at the moment. Hysteric spots Tex. It's a 3 versus 5. Invictus, they're looking so good at the moment. They don't have the kit in hand. They have time to recover that, of course. With Mentalist now dead, this is surely an Invictus win.
Lusty looking to come back to site. Stiggs, the lone man to defend the objective as Invictus inch closer and closer. So much time to go for them as they get into a plant position. Jordan forcing it down, but Speakeasy is there to cover. Lusty takes that damage, and Speakeasy gets on out. Stiggs and Lusty, a valiant effort from them as they desperately try and retake here. Down match point, Luna. He's taken another kill, and Stiggs is the last thing between Invictus and that lower bracket final. He's doing his best to find these final 2 players, but they aren't going to give him a damn thing. As time slips away, it becomes inevitable that Invictus will win this match. They will take down their ultimate rivals of Fnatic, knock them from the tournament, and march forward to that lower bracket final.
It's another 2-0 victory in the lower bracket here in the Stage 2 APAC playoffs, and Invictus, what a performance. Thoroughly deserving this win. Tactically near perfect, and their execution near perfect as well. So many players stepping up massively, and it was the Speakeasy show once again, as it often is here for Invictus. They send Fnatic packing, but this rivalry only continues to grow.
This is, of course, just one battle in the ever-waging war between these 2 APAC titans, but Fnatic, I'm afraid, has to say goodbye. In the APAC playoffs, their run is now over. We cannot have 2 more North APAC teams going to the major. Damwon is the last hope for that division. And, well, I know that Elevate and IG are going to try and give them a run for their money. But, of course, now this is Invictus's moment. They have been working so hard. And in recent weeks, they have finally seen some fruition. I can't wait to see Lunametal's reaction after when we get him in for the interview. But for now, back over to the desk.
7-3, 7-2, a quick 2-0 in the end for Invictus Gaming. They made this one look very one-sided, Raven. It was just over basically before it began. And it also means, as Dev pointed out, at least one APAC South team is going to be going to the major from the playoffs at minimum.
Yeah, look, definitely great to hear that at least 2 APAC South teams will be going through to represent. But yeah, this is a really solid display from Invictus showing how they've grown. I cannot believe that just on that last play day of APAC South, we were discussing the prospect of them being last in APAC South, and here they are potentially going to get a chance for this Mexico major spot. It's pretty unreal.
Yeah, what a performance. I mean, you can't knock that. 5 rounds from Fnatic, that's all they allowed them. In 2 maps, you know, Consulate, a map that we know that Fnatic are decent on, and then Clubhouse, one that I guess they may come to regret picking that against Invictus, especially after what we saw earlier today. But still, this is just incredible signs for Invictus, which I think we're starting to see their true and final form from the end of what was 2020. I'm sorry if I'm breaking up. I don't know, that look was weird for me, Xenox.
No, you are more than beautiful, mate. But we do have Luna in the wings, who hopefully we can have a little bit more time with this time around. Luna Metal, congratulations on the victory, moving forward to the lower bracket final. What does it mean for you guys as a team? Of course, Stage 1, best to be forgotten, but so far Stage 2 has just improved in leaps and bounds.
It means a lot, really. Like we dedicate our lives to this, so like any downside, you might not see it from outside, but every loss really affects us a lot. So to be able to play like we did today, is really, you know, just boost our motivation a lot, because we know what we're doing is the right thing. Yeah,
look, Luna, I'd love to hear a little bit more here.
Continue it on tomorrow, and hopefully we can make it to Mexico still.
Yeah, I don't know if it's lagging for anyone else. I might let Raven talk here if it's not lagging for him.
Oh, it was lagging too. You go, Rob.
Okay, cool. Wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be lagging there. Luna, you guys took Fnatic to Consulate, which is a map that, you know, they're quite favoured on as well. Was that a pick of confidence from you guys?
Of course, we're really confident with what we do in Consulate. We knew that it was both our strong maps. But looking at VODs of them playing, you know, we felt that it was a good matchup, like our playstyle against theirs. So we had no comms taking it to their strong map.
Yeah, I'll just quickly ask you two questions. One's going to be super quick. Were you surprised by the Clubhouse choice from Fnatic? Because that is a heavily banned map from them, and I feel like it might have been a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I was actually surprised by Fnatic's last two maps, other than the Consulate pick, of course. I think they were going for an approach where they were trying to, because we have similar strong maps, so right, Cafe and Consulate, we're both really proficient at it. So I think they were trying to bring it to both our weaker maps. So we didn't expect that at all. But still, we went into Clubhouse saying that it's their map pick. You know, even if we lose, it's fine. There's still a third map that we're confident in. So, you know, it worked out.
Yeah, nice. My last question is, who do you think you're going to be playing tomorrow in your lower bracket final? Obviously, it's going to be Damwon, Kia, or Elevate. Who do you think you're going to be having to compete against to try book that Mexico major spot?
I think it will be Damwon. Don't quote me though. If you lose Twitch points, it's not my fault, okay, guys? But I think it will be Damwon that we're going to face.
That's perfect, because it leads into sort of my next question. So far in the playoffs, you guys have only played APAC North teams. What's sort of been, I guess, maybe your take on APAC North versus APAC South, of course, going from the regular season and then now into the playoffs versus all of the APAC North teams?
I'm trying to think of a politically correct way to say it. It's nothing major. I
You can't say it's free, mate. You can't say it's free.
Yeah. No, it's not free. I think APAC South there's a lot of weird playstyles in APAC South. So if you compare like Seven Heaven versus Knights, right, it's two different games of Siege. So it's much more demanding for a team in a way that we have to prepare for both styles. Whereas APAC North, I think like the Korean teams play in a similar way as much as like the Japanese teams play a similar way. So it was much easier to prep when we went APAC North compared to South. And we are a team that kind of relies heavily on prep work. So yeah.
Perfect answer. I'll give you the floor. Any shout outs you want to give?
Yep. To my fans, as usual, thanks for supporting us as always. And to Jia, happy anniversary. This is our 1 year anniversary today. I'm sorry that I can't be out celebrating. But in return, I won 4 games for you. So yeah, we'll celebrate afterwards, okay?
Well, best of luck for tomorrow in the lower bracket final. Hopefully we can have another chat again tomorrow.
Hopefully. See you guys.
Always great to have a chat with Luna. Of course, Invictus Gaming, they continue their amazing Stage 2 Renaissance. Raven, they are looking really good. Again, it's at the right time. This is where you want to be playing your best Siege.
It really is. They have peaked at the right time. Again, I'm just gobsmacked that there was even that prospect that they were somehow going to be last in APAC South for Stage 2. Yet here they are, and I think they're going to be in for a pretty tough fight tomorrow in a lower bracket final. Both Damwon, Kia, and Elevate are really going to be strong opponents. But based on what we've seen over these last 2 days, I think Invictus finally do have what's in them to potentially book themselves a spot at that Mexico Major.
Yeah, I actually, at this point, I wouldn't even doubt that. They have performed phenomenally in this lower bracket after beating Fnatic in their first matchup in the quarterfinal, only to be slapped down by Elevate. Now, of course, coming up against the top teams there, Damwon, Kia, and Elevate, it is so curious. I genuinely... I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, because all 3 of these teams are headed into the final play day in great form. And I mean, it wouldn't be fair that one of these teams miss out. I'll be completely honest with you, Xenox.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. The other thing as well is there's a real possibility, Raven, that we don't see any representation from the playoffs of APAC from an APAC North team. If Damwon, Kia lose to Elevate, then lose to Invictus Gaming, you will have 3 APAC South teams going to the Major and only 1 from North.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And look, it'll be a very interesting contest between Demon Kia and Elevate tomorrow because, yeah, we haven't seen Demon Kia play at BO3 and Elevate, obviously a very, very strong opponent with APAC South. Given the insight we just had from Luna about the differences in the playstyles and also difficulty prepping, I think that's always a big thing. Yeah, I think it's definitely a reality that could happen. I don't know. It would be interesting to see. We're always about that South versus North banter, but yeah, I am definitely excited about the prospect of the outcomes tomorrow.
No? Okay, look, honestly, it's probably better for everyone there. Manic is having a little bit of issues here. That's going to be us done for the day then. We'll just leave it there on a good note as Manic is just making a bit of a fool of himself. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. Of course, we will be back tomorrow though. 2 big games. Upper bracket final versus Damwon and Elevate. And then the loser of that, of course, will go down to the lower bracket final where they will await Invictus Gaming. We'll see you then tomorrow.